Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 1 hour. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says India-US joint statement to be released in next 4 to 5 days. Reduced tariff to come into effect soon after the release of the joint statement. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar underlines challenges of excessive concentration of critical minerals and importance of de-risking supply chains as global leaders attend US-hosted critical minerals meeting. Iran and the US confirm crucial nuclear talks to be held in Muscat on Friday. Iran thanks Oman for hosting arrangements. Russia says progress in talks with Ukraine as trilateral peace talks are underway in Abu Dhabi. Seychelles President Dr. Patrick Harmony arrives in Chennai for his first state visit to India, marks 50 years of diplomatic ties. Union Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal said on Thursday that the first tranche of India-US bilateral trade agreement is almost ready and a joint statement will be issued in the next 4 to 5 days, after which the US will issue an executive order to reduce the tariff to 18%. He also said that there will be a formal agreement which will be signed around mid-March.
बहुत ही सार्थक चर्चा चल रही है भारत और यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका के बीच, जो हमारे दोनों नेताओं ने निर्णय लिया है। हमारा पहला ट्रांच बायलैटरल ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट का लगभग तैयार हो गया है। हमारी उम्मीद है कि अगले 4-5 दिन में हम एक जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका और भारत के बीच में फाइनलाइज करके साइन कर देंगे और उस जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट के आधार पर शुरुआत हो जाएगी हमारे दोनों के बीच में इस समझौते की पहली कड़ी। साथ ही साथ एक फॉर्मल एग्रीमेंट ड्राफ्ट हो रहा है जिसको शायद महीना भर 1.5 महीना लग सकता है और उस फॉर्मल एग्रीमेंट को मिड मार्च तक साइन करने का अंदाजा है। लेकिन 18% जो यूएस टैरिफ्स घटने हैं वो जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट अनाउंस होने के बाद एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑर्डर द्वारा यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका कर देगा।
Commemorating 50 years of long-standing and multifaceted India-Seychelles bilateral ties, President of Seychelles, Dr. Patrick Harmony, arrived in Chennai, capital and the largest city of the southern state of Tamil Nadu. Well, this is President Harmony's first visit to India since assuming office last October. The visit coincides with the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic ties between the two countries. During his visit to India, President Harmony will meet President Draupadi Murmu and hold discussions with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest. Seychelles is a key maritime neighbor for India in the Indian Ocean region and holds a special place in India's vision Mahasagar and a commitment to the global south. The visit of President Harmony to India following the visit of the Vice President of India to Seychelles in October 2025 is expected to lend further momentum to wide-ranging cooperation and robust people-to-people ties between the two countries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will pay an official visit to Malaysia from the 7th until the 8th of February this year. Prime Minister Modi's Malaysia visit is taking place at the invitation of the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim. Well, this would be the third visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Malaysia. During the visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold bilateral discussions with Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Prime Minister Modi will also interact with the members of the Indian community as well as industry and business representatives. The 10th India-Malaysia CEO Forum is also scheduled to be held, coinciding with the visit of Prime Minister. India and Malaysia share long-standing bonds of friendship based on historical, civilizational and cultural connections. And now let's take you live across to Ministry of External Affairs media briefing. This is a weekly media briefing by the Ministry of External Affairs, where different questions of the media personals will be answered by the spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal. And now we are beginning with the weekly media briefing of the Ministry of External Affairs. Let's take a listen to this now. So in a short while from now, we'll take you live across to Ministry of External Affairs briefing. We were talking about the important visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as he would be visiting to Malaysia for the third time at the invitation of the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim. There will be different discussions which will be taking place at this very important visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Ayushi.
So this is Ayushi Agarwal from ANI. Recently, President Trump claimed that India has agreed to stop buying Russian oil and shift buying crude from Venezuela and United States. Any comments on that, and what is India's current policy on Russian oil imports, if you can clarify? Thank you.
Yeshi.
This is Yeshi Seli from Business India, associated question. What is the status of this trade deal? Were negotiations done, or was it based on just the phone call between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi?
Keshav.
Sir, Keshav Padmanabhan from the print. Reports have indicated that National Security Advisor Ajit Doval had a secret meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio sometime late last year. Can you give us details on whether such a meeting occurred and what happened? And I just wanted to follow up on the Indian sailors in Iran, 16 sailors. You said that you had requested for consular access. Could you give us a status on that as well? Thank you.
Jessica.
Hi, sir. This is Jessica for DD India. So could you tell us more about the critical minerals ministerial that Dr. Shankar took part in along with 50 other nations? Some more details about what all was discussed and what all is being planned.
Rishabh.
So good afternoon, Rishabh from Times Now. So there was a bipartisan US delegation that came to India last week. If you can give us more details, what were the discussions like and what were the main focus of the delegation?
Okay, Reza.
Reza from Hindustan Times. Just a quick clarification on the critical minerals ministerial. There is talk about US creating a stockpile of critical minerals. Are we looking at joining that? And if there is any clarity on how materials will be allocated from that stockpile?
Okay, so let's, Ayushi, first come to your question. Insofar as India's energy security or energy sourcing is concerned, the government has stated publicly on several occasions, including me here, that ensuring the energy security of 1.4 billion Indians is the supreme priority of the government. Diversifying our energy sourcing in keeping with objective market conditions and evolving international dynamics is at the core of our strategy to ensure this. All of India's decisions are taken and will be taken with this in mind. भारत की ऊर्जा आपूर्ति के संबंध में भारत ने कई मौकों पर सार्वजनिक रूप से कहा है कि 140 करोड़ भारतीयों का हित, उनकी ऊर्जा सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करना हमारी सरकार की सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता है। इस लक्ष्य को प्राप्त करने के लिए बाजार स्थितियों और बदलते अंतर्राष्ट्रीय घटनाक्रमों के अनुरूप अपनी ऊर्जा स्रोतों में विविधता लाना हमारी रणनीति का मूल आधार है। भारत के सभी कदम इस बात को ध्यान में रखकर उठाए गए हैं और भविष्य में भी उठाए जाएंगे। Also, since she asked related question to Venezuela, so I would like to answer that as well. See, as far as Venezuela is concerned, it has been a long-standing partner for us in the area of energy, both on the trade side and as also on the investment side. We were importing energy or crude oil from Venezuela till 2019-20, and thereafter we had to stop. Again, we started buying oil from Venezuela in 2023-2024, but had to stop, which were halted because of reimposition of sanctions. As you are aware that Indian PSUs, they have established partnership with the National Oil Company of Venezuela, PDVSA, and they have our PSUs have maintained presence in the country since 2008. Consistent with our approach to energy security, India remains open to exploring the commercial merits of any crude supply options, including from Venezuela. Ishi, in regard to your question, Commerce and Industry Minister has already spoken. In fact, today also he has given a statement, so I would refer you to please have a look at those statements for clarity on the issues that you raised. Keshav, responding to your question regarding report by Bloomberg, I would like to say that there is absolutely no basis for that report. No such meeting or no such visit has taken place. On Iran, the 16 sailors that you mentioned, we've had consular access. Our consulate in Bandar Abbas, our officials in Bandar Abbas, they have gone and met them. Of those 16, 8 people, this is what we have been informed by the Iranian authorities, 8 of them have been released and they will be returning home as and when necessary formalities in their regard for their travel is completed. In regard to the other the remaining 8 sailors, we are in touch with Iranian authorities and we'll see how best to support them for whatever need they may have. On critical minerals partnership, Jessica, External Affairs Minister, attended this meeting which was hosted by the US side. We had over 50 countries who participated. If I remember correctly, 54 plus European Union, 54 countries plus European Union participated in the meeting. External Affairs Minister was there. He, after he made his remarks, and in his remarks he highlighted the challenges of excessive concentration and the importance of de-risking supply. He also talked about structured international cooperation. He also highlighted India's efforts towards greater resilience through national critical mineral mission that we have, a rare earth corridor and responsible commerce, and he conveyed support for the FORGE initiative that has been set in motion post this critical minerals partnership. Reza, in regard to your question, I don't have any further details, but I can tell you that India is supportive of FORGE initiative, which in a sense replaces critical mineral initiatives that was there earlier in place. Rishabh, on your question regarding the US delegation, this delegation comprising 3 congressmen, they visited India from 25th to 27th. We have regular exchanges with the US Congress members and us, regular dialogue, conversations going, and it's an important part of our India-US comprehensive strategic partnership that we have. These 3 congressmen who were here, they were Representative Mike Rogers, he's a Republican from Alabama, Representative Adam Smith, he's a Democrat from Washington, and Representative Jimmy Patronis, he's a Republican from Florida. it was a bipartisan declaration that we had here. They were also accompanied by senior staff members. They had a meeting, they called on the External Affairs Minister. They also had a meeting with Defense Secretary. Discussion centered around bilateral ties, bilateral cooperation, matters of trade, Ukraine issue, what we are doing together in the Indo-Pacific. They also had a meeting with industry leaders, in particular in the defense sector. So overall, it was a good meeting, and the fact that it was a bilateral, bipartisan congressional delegation from the US reflects that there is strong bipartisan support for India-US relations. Can we move forward? Uma?
उमा शंकर सिंह, इंडिपेंडेंट जर्नलिस्ट। हमने विदेश मंत्री की तरफ से आया बयान भी देखा है और कॉमर्स मिनिस्ट्री की तरफ से आया बयान भी देखा है। सवाल यह है कि जिस तरह के बयान अमेरिका की तरफ से आ रहे हैं, चाहे कृषि मंत्री की तरफ से हो या व्हाइट हाउस प्रवक्ता की तरफ से, क्या लगता है कि जिस सेंसिटिविटी नेचर का ये डील है उसमें इस तरह का आगे बढ़ के बयान देना, जबकि वर्क स्टिल अंडर प्रोग्रेस है, तो क्या वो किसी तरह से डिप्लोमेटिक नॉर्म्स का उल्लंघन है?
ओके, मधु।
सर, मधुरेंद्र, मैं न्यूज़ नेशन से। एलएससी की जो स्थिति है, खासतौर पे डिसइंगेजमेंट और पेट्रोलिंग की बहाली को लेकर, उस पर कई तरह के सवाल खड़े हो रहे हैं और एक किताब को भी कोट किया जा रहा है जो अनपब्लिश्ड है। चूंकि दोनों ही बातचीत में एमईए पार्टिसिपेंट रहा है, चाहे डब्ल्यूएमसीसी की बात करें या कोर कमांडर लेवल टॉक की बात करें, तो क्या जो मौजूदा स्थिति है उसको एमईए अपने डैश से स्पष्ट करना चाहेगा?
Sir, I have a related question. Tariff from Sputnik India. I have a related question about the Russian oil, sir, issue. Sir, what's being suggested in pro-establishment US media like Fox News and others is that the US agreed to a trade deal after India agreed to stop purchasing Russian oil. So I just want a clarification if the US asked India to stop purchasing Russian oil as a precondition for agreeing to a trade deal. And sir, on a related note, Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova said yesterday that India-Russia energy cooperation has been mutually beneficial for both the countries and has helped maintain stability in international crude market. Do you share that assessment, sir? Thank you.
Brahm.
सर, ब्रह्म प्रकाश द्विवेदी न्यूज से। मेरा सवाल सर यूएस के साथ ट्रेड डील को लेकर है। जिस तरह से अमेरिकी राष्ट्रपति ने ट्वीट किया था, उसके बाद से भारत की तरफ से कोई उस पर ऑफिशियल जानकारी सामने नहीं आई थी, तो क्या ये भारत की तरफ से मामला उठाया गया है? क्योंकि यूएस की तरफ से लगातार ट्रेड डील पर बयान आ रहे हैं, लेकिन भारत की तरफ से इस पर कोई स्थिति स्पष्ट नहीं है। संसद में भी इसी बात को लेकर विपक्ष मुद्दा उठा रहा है कि क्या ये दबाव में फैसला किया गया या स्थिति क्या है, या कृषि क्षेत्र खोला गया है अमेरिका के लिए, ये क्या नहीं? अगर आप स्थिति स्पष्ट करें। थैंक यू।
Kadambini Sharma, independent journalist. Sir, just a clarification about Venezuelan oil. Will it be coming via US, and if so, what is the legality and long-term legal viability of this?
Okay. So, उमा शंकर, आपका पहला सवाल, देखिए, व्यापार समझौता के लेके बारे में कॉमर्स मिनिस्ट्री और कॉमर्स मिनिस्टर हमारे वाणिज्य मंत्री का बयान आया है और उन्होंने एक प्रेस वार्ता भी किया था जिसमें शायद आप लोग में से काफ़ी लोग वहाँ गए थे। उसके अलावा कल उन्होंने पार्लियामेंट में भी अपनी बात रखी है और आज भी कुछ स्टेटमेंट जारी किया है। तो मैं आपसे चाहूँगा कि आपसे आग्रह करूँगा कि आप उन स्टेटमेंट पे ध्यान दें। उसके आगे मेरे लिए कुछ कहने के लिए नहीं है और उसमें काफ़ी सारी स्पष्टता भी है, तो आपको उससे लाभ होगा। मधु, जहाँ तक चीन का सवाल है, एलएसी का सवाल है, जब हमारी द्विपक्षीय वार्ता होती है तो हम आपको अपने माध्यम से, हमारे प्रेस विज्ञप्ति के माध्यम से आपको बताते हैं किस प्रकार की कोशिश चल रही है वहाँ पर शांति और शांति और स्थिरता बनाए रखने के लिए। आपको हम इस पर जानकारी देते रहेंगे। जहाँ तक किताब की बात कही और सब चीज़ों की बात कही, तो उस पर मेरे ख्याल से पिछले कुछ दिनों में, सालों में उस पर बातचीत हुई है। रक्षा मंत्रालय का भी कुछ इस पर निर्णय लिया है। आप इस बात को देखें कि क्या उनका क्या रवैया रहा है, क्या रुख रहा है, किस प्रकार का पक्ष उन्होंने इस पर रखा है। There on energy sourcing, I told you what government of India's policy is, and in the beginning when I started this conference, I told you where we are on energy sourcing, so I would refer you to my remarks made earlier. ब्रह्म, देखिए, कृषि क्षेत्र के बारे में चाहे कोई और भी मुद्दे हैं, इस पे स्पष्ट रूप से हमारे वाणिज्य मंत्री ने कहा है, उन्होंने अपना स्टेटमेंट जारी किया है, बातें की हैं, तो उससे मेरे ख्याल से आप अगर उस स्टेटमेंट को पढ़ें तो उसमें आपको उसमें काफ़ी सारी स्पष्टता मिल जाएगी. On Venezuela again, Kadambini, we have, as I told you, there's a history of engagement with Venezuela. We have long-standing energy partnership with them, and we remain open to exploring options of availability of crude oil from Venezuela and other places, depending on its commercial viability. Neeraj?
सर, नीरज हूँ News18 इंडिया से. जमाते इस्लामी ने घोषणा पत्र जारी किया है, बांग्लादेश चुनाव को लेकर कुछ वादे किए हैं. उसमें भारत के साथ कंस्ट्रक्टिव, पीसफुल और फ्रेंडली रिलेशन हो, इसका जिक्र किया है. भारत इस कमेंट को कैसे देखता है, जबकि भारत का बार बार ये कहना है कि भारत बांग्लादेश में समावेशी चुनाव चाहता है, जबकि अवामी लीग को उस चुनाव में शामिल होने की परमिशन नहीं है.
नीरज?
सर नमस्कार, नीरज दुबे हूँ प्रवासाखी से. सर, ओमान में मीटिंग होनी है अमेरिका और ईरान की, इसको भारत कैसे देखता है? और विदेश मंत्री जयशंकर जी की मार्को रूबियो से जो बातचीत में ईरान को लेकर क्या कुछ वार्ता हुई, इस पर अगर कुछ प्रकाश डालना चाहें.
Megha?
Good afternoon, sir. Megha from NewsX. My question about the statement that has been released just now by the Commerce Minister, saying that there is going to be a joint statement that is going to be issued both by US and Indian officials. Is it going to be physically issued in India or in America? Are there any American officials expected to come to India or any Indian officials headed to United States of America? And also about the FTA, he said by mid-March is what is expected that the FTA is going to be signed. Is it going to be signing of the deal virtually, physically? Is the Prime Minister going to America or the US President coming to India?
Raghavendra?
So this is Raghavendra Verma from German television ZDF. This is regarding the European Union trade deal. So what do we have a timeline of the actual signing of the deal? Is it correct that presently only the legal vetting of the details of the deal has been pending? And with the US deal, would it be similar one, something which will be signed and then later on vetted? And what would be the actual deal? And in India, the process goes only to the approval through cabinet and not from the parliament. Is it correct, unlike European Union?
Manas?
Good afternoon. Just a little clarification. There has been confusion about the US tariff now. In fact, as of now, what is the tariff actually? It is 18% from 25%, or it is 18% from 50%? And yes, in fact, do you think President Trump had jumped the gun on the trade deal?
ओके, सो फर्स्ट नीरज, आपका सवाल देखिए, बांग्लादेश में जो चुनाव होना है उसके बारे में हमने कई दफ़ा हमारा अपना पक्ष रखा है, तो मैं चाहूँगा कि आप जो हम लोगों ने इस पर बात रखी है, समावेशी चुनाव के बारे में कहा है, उस पर आप ध्यान दें. नीरज, ईरान वाली बात, देखिए ऐसा है ना कि चुनाव के मुद्दे पे हम लोगों ने अपनी बात रखी है ना. नीरज, आपका सवाल ईरान को लेके है. भारतीय विदेश मंत्री की यात्रा 3 और 4 को अमेरिका की हुई है. इस दरमियान उन्होंने वहाँ के विदेश मंत्री से अपनी बातचीत की, साथ ही साथ वहाँ के जो ट्रेजरी सेक्रेटरी हैं उनसे भी बातचीत हुई है, और दोनों देशों के बीच में, दोनों नेताओं के बीच में कई सारे मुद्दों पर बातचीत हुई, जिसमें कि भौगोलिक मुद्दे भी हैं, रीजनल इश्यूज भी हैं और ग्लोबल इश्यूज भी हैं. Megha, again, Commerce Minister has given you several details in his statements. Again, today also he has spoken about the various aspects relating to the trade deal. So I would request you to please look at those details that have been shared. And if there are further developments in this regard, we'll surely share them with you. Raghavendra, on India-EU FTA, there are internal, as you know, last week we had the signing of this historic landmark trade deal. Now, the trade deal, the trade agreement, they have to undergo internal processes in both sides, in the European Union and also here in India. But let me tell you, both sides remain politically committed to implement the agreement as soon as possible. Manas, your question about tariff. So, let me refer you to the statements that have been made by both sides. Prime Minister had a telecon with President Trump on Monday. Post that call and post the tweet by President Trump, Prime Minister thanked President Trump for the reduction in reciprocal tariff. Prime Minister noted that made in India products will now be exported to the United States at a reduced tariff of 18%. This trade agreement, as we see it, will give a major boost to our exports to the United States. It will be a major boost to the labor-intensive industries here in India, create new job opportunities, growth and prosperity for our people. Also, let me say that the US side has also clarified that the final figure of tariff is 18%. Sorry? दोनों देशों के तरफ से बयान आया है इस मुद्दे पर, टैरिफ के मुद्दे पर. हमारी, जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री की राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप से बातचीत हुई थी. बातचीत के बाद, उस कॉन्वर्सेशन के बाद, उसके बाद जब प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप ने ट्वीट किया, उसके बाद प्रधानमंत्री ने उनको धन्यवाद दिया कि भारत पर अब जो टैरिफ है, रेसिप्रोकल टैरिफ, उसको नीचे लाया गया है. और साथ ही साथ प्रधानमंत्री ने यह भी व्यक्त किया कि भारत में बने पदार्थ, प्रोडक्ट्स, अब अमेरिका जब वो निर्यात होंगे तो उन पर घटा हुआ टैरिफ जो 18% का है वो लागू होगा. और इस व्यापार संधि से हमारे निर्यात को, हमारे में देश में जो श्रम आधारित उद्योग है उसको, और साथ ही साथ यहाँ पर अन्य व्यवसाय के क्या कहते हैं, नौकरी के बहुत सारे अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ पैदा होंगे और हमारे लोगों के लिए, उनके भलाई के और उनके हित में है ये. साथ ही साथ आपको मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि अमेरिकी सरकार की तरफ से ये खुलासा किया गया है कि जो फाइनल जो फिगर है, जो अंक है टैरिफ का, वो 18%. विद दैट, लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर प्रेजेंस.
So that was a weekly media briefing by the Ministry of External Affairs, where spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal answered the various questions asked by the media, including the oil and the imports from Venezuela. He answered the query regarding that, as well as the critical ministerial meeting and what to expect next and how is it going to boost the US-India bilateral ties. Moving on now. Amid the growing tensions, US and Iran have agreed to hold talks in Oman on Friday, even as they remained at odds over Washington's insistence that negotiations include Tehran's missile arsenal and Iran's vow to discuss only its nuclear program. The delicate diplomatic effort comes amid heightened tensions as the US builds up forces and regional players seek to avoid a military confrontation that many fear could escalate into a wider conflict. Differences in recent days over the scope and venue for the talks have raised doubts, but after Trump spoke, US and Iranian officials said the two sides had agreed to shift the talks' location to Muscat after initially accepting Istanbul. Iran has pushed to restrict the negotiations to discussing its long-running nuclear dispute with Western countries, but US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that talks would have to include the range of Iran's ballistic missiles, its support for armed proxy groups around the Middle East, and its treatment of its own people besides nuclear issues. Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner was due to take part in the talks along with US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Russia and Ukraine wrapped up the first day of the second round of US-mediated negotiations in Abu Dhabi on Wednesday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he was briefed by Kyiv's delegation and discussed the initial outcomes of the talks, which are being held in a trilateral format involving Ukraine, United States and Russia, and will continue on Thursday. Zelensky said Ukraine's goal remains clear for an effective end to the conflict through firm security guarantees and increased pressure on Moscow. Ukrainian negotiator Rustem Umerov described the discussions as meaningful and focused on practical steps towards lasting peace. Meanwhile, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said Russia remains open to a peaceful settlement but will continue its operations until Kyiv takes what Moscow sees as necessary decisions. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said progress has been made, though key challenges remain.
The good news is that for the first time in a very long time, we have technical military teams from both Ukraine and Russia meeting in a forum that we'll also be involved with, and our experts, Steve Woodcock and Jared Kushner will also be attending for part of that, and we think that's important. And look, I don't want to say talks alone or progress, but it's good that there's engagement going on. I would also caution everyone that on things like this, because there's a lot of sensitivities involved in it, progress is probably not going to be known, even via leaks, until we really have a breakthrough. Our goal is to remain committed. We've committed a year to this. We think we've made real progress.
Union Minister of State for Health Anupriya will participate in the World Government Summit in Dubai on Thursday. She will speak at a session titled From Policy to Practice, Investing in the Future of Integrative Medicine on the third day of the summit. In an exclusive interview with Prasar Bharati ahead of the summit, the minister said the platform offers an important opportunity to showcase India's approach to integrative healthcare. She noted that according to the World Health Organization, 88% of member states have traditional systems of medicine that are culturally accepted.
The World Government Summit 2026 in Dubai has provided a good opportunity to explore what India has been doing towards integrative healthcare. And I'm happy to say that we have both institutionalized as well as operationalized the concept of integrative healthcare. We have institutionalized integrative healthcare by incorporating it in our National Health Policy 2017, and also we have operationalized it by putting it in our primary, secondary and tertiary healthcare infrastructure.
India is set to host the India AI Impact Summit 2026 in New Delhi on the 19th and the 20th of February, marking the first global artificial intelligence summit to be held in the Global South. The summit 2026 will focus on the principles of people, planet and progress and aims to shape a future where AI advances humanity, supports inclusive growth and protects the shared planet. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who will attend the summit, has praised India's leadership, calling AI a crucial issue in international relations and one of the defining challenges of the present time. Yes, Ma.
I do believe that AI is today an absolutely crucial issue in international relations and one of the biggest challenges of our times. So it is very important that countries come together, discuss it also with the civil society in all kinds of circumstances. And I praise India for having assumed the leadership in relation to this summit.
We are heading for a short break. We'll be right back. Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake inaugurated the public exposition in Colombo of the sacred Devni Mori relics of Lord Buddha brought from Gujarat. The relics arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Colombo from Gujarat via Delhi and were later taken in a special motorcade to the Hanupitiya Gangaramaya temple following religious observances. The public will be able to venerate the sacred relics round the clock at the historic Gangaramaya temple from Thursday until the 11th of February. The exposition coincides with Sri Lanka's 78th Independence Day that was marked on Wednesday. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya thanked Government of India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for facilitating the exposition, calling it a blessing for the people of Sri Lanka.
Witnessing these relics, that's a huge honor and a tremendous opportunity for our people. So I really appreciate this gesture by the Indian government, by Prime Minister Modi, for taking these relics out for the first time to Sri Lanka and giving this opportunity to us.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed gratitude to Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake for inaugurating the exposition of the Holy Devnimuri relics. In a social media post, he said, and I quote him, "During my visit in April 2025, it was decided these relics will come to Sri Lanka, thus giving the opportunity for the people to pay their respects. Our nations are connected by deep civilizational and spiritual bonds. May Lord Buddha's timeless message of compassion, peace and harmony continue to guide humanity." Unquote. Moving on, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar spoke at the Critical Minerals Ministerial Meet in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, stressing the need to secure and diversify global supply chains for critical minerals. Dr. S. Shankar underlined the challenges of excessive concentration and the importance of de-risking supply chains through structured international cooperation. He highlighted India's efforts towards greater resilience through initiatives including National Critical Minerals Mission, Rare Earths Corridors, and Responsible Commerce. Dr. S. Shankar also conveyed India's support for the Forge initiative aimed at strengthening cooperation on critical minerals and ensuring reliable, sustainable supply chains essential for future technologies. Forge is a US-led international trade bloc designed to secure critical minerals and reduce reliance on China.
It was a very good discussion. Critical minerals is a very important subject. The US has been partner for some years. Today they launched a new initiative called Forge, which we have supported. It's a kind of successor to the Mineral Security Partnership. So I think overall, to me it was a good meeting, very productive, very outcome-oriented, very business-like.
On the sidelines of the meeting, External Affairs Minister met Canadian counterpart Anita Anand. Two leaders talked about taking the ties forward. Dr. S. Shankar also met with Peru Foreign Minister Hugo de Zilla. Both agreed to deepen the cooperation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has invited the citizens to watch the special Pariksha Pe Charcha episode on Friday to witness these engaging conversations and the collective spirit of India's youth. As examination season approaches, Prime Minister once again engaged with young students through Pariksha Pe Charcha. Now this year, the interactive sessions were held with exam warriors in Devmokra, Coimbatore, Raipur, Guwahati and at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg in New Delhi. He emphasized the importance of stress-free examinations and shared practical insights on overcoming challenges, maintaining balance and nurturing confidence. Pariksha Pe Charcha is an annual dialogue hosted by Prime Minister since 2018, where experts, educators and the Prime Minister provide the students with tips on reducing examination stress, managing time and a positive mindset as well.
Pariksha Pe Charcha by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji will be a great opportunity for you to get inspired and motivated directly from our Prime Minister. I urge all of you to listen to this inspiring address which our Prime Minister will be giving it to you. You should remove the impression that the marks obtained in the examination are benchmarks of your intelligence or your worth.
It's a great moment. Pariksha Pe Charcha. From 2018, we have this movement going on. It's a great movement in the sense that it impacts on all the stakeholders of the growth of a student, and that too during the years of class 6 to class 12, where the future of a student is determined, and where the student identifies where he aligns himself with, which profession would be good for him, what is his innate capability. Based on that, we are able to guide him now. That opportunity the country is giving him through Prime Minister's this moment.
Indian naval ship Ghadial arrived at Colombo on Wednesday to deliver 10 Bailey bridges in support of Sri Lanka's post-cyclone reconstruction efforts following Cyclone Titwa. The modular Bailey bridges will play a critical role in the rapid restoration of damaged road connectivity, facilitating civilian mobility and enabling the smooth conduct of relief and rehabilitation operations in affected areas. This humanitarian assistance and disaster relief mission forms part of India's $450 million special economic package announced by External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar and builds upon the ongoing regional cooperation framework under Operation Sagar Bandhu. The deployment underscores the commitment of the Indian Navy as a first responder and a trusted partner in the Indian Ocean region, reinforcing India's enduring support to the maritime neighbor in times of need. In the central Indian state of Chhattisgarh, an encounter has once again broken out between security forces and Naxalites in Bijapur district. Firing has been underway since morning between District Reserve Guard personnel and Naxalites in the Chingelur area. Reports suggested that Naxalite commander and divisional committee member Udham Singh has been killed in the encounter. The SP said that security forces are conducting a search operation. An AK-47 rifle has also been recovered from the encounter site. And now let's once again go live across to Ministry of External Affairs special briefing on Prime Minister Modi's visit to Malaysia.
I hand over the floor to Secretary East for his initial remarks. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ranveer. Good afternoon, dear friends from the media. I extend a warm welcome to all of you and thank you for joining us today for this special briefing on the visit of Prime Minister to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia on 7th and 8th February 2026. Upon invitation of the Prime Minister of Malaysia, His Excellency Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, Prime Minister is scheduled to visit Kuala Lumpur on 7th and 8th February. This would be PM's third visit to Malaysia and his first after the state visit of Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to India in 2024. Our PM had earlier visited Malaysia in 2015. During that visit, India-Malaysia bilateral relations were elevated to an enhanced strategic partnership. PM had also inaugurated the Torana Gate in Brickfields, Kuala Lumpur, a gift from India to Malaysia, symbolizing the India-Malaysia friendship. PM again visited Malaysia in 2018 for a brief stopover to congratulate the former Malaysian PM Mahathir Mohamad. Prime Minister also virtually attended the 22nd ASEAN-India Summit convened in Kuala Lumpur on 26 October 2025. The forthcoming visit comes within 1.5 years of elevation of our bilateral ties to a comprehensive strategic partnership. During the state visit of Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to India during 19 to 21st August 2024, and reflects India's strong commitment to our relations with Malaysia, a key partner in India's Act East policy, Vision Mahasagar, and also the Indo-Pacific vision. The visit will also provide an opportunity to enhance our engagement with the ASEAN region, given the important role of Malaysia as its founding member and its chairship of ASEAN in 2025. PM will hold bilateral discussions with the Prime Minister of Malaysia. They will review progress under the India-Malaysia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, especially in priority areas of cooperation such as trade, investments, defense, security, semiconductors, digital technologies, renewable energy, education, healthcare, and people-to-people exchanges. The 10th meeting of the India-Malaysia CEOs Forum is also scheduled in Kuala Lumpur on the sidelines of the visit, and PM will also interact with leading Malaysian CEOs from key sectors. As you know, India and Malaysia share a strong, dynamic, and diverse economic partnership. Malaysia is India's third largest trading partner in ASEAN, with bilateral trade around $20 billion. Our trade has diversified beyond commodities, such as palm oil, and includes a variety of agricultural products, chemicals, minerals, appliances, and machinery. On the investment front, our engagement is strong and is growing steadily. Major Malaysian investors like Petronas, Khazanah, IHH Healthcare, IJM Corporation, United Engineers, UEM, etc. have a strong presence in India, while over 200 Indian companies, including 61 joint ventures and 3 Indian PSUs, including those in IT and ITES, manufacturing, construction, and pharmaceuticals, are actively operating in Malaysia. Our countries are working towards further enhancing our bilateral trade in a balanced and sustainable manner. India and Malaysia are also cooperating under ASEAN for early conclusion of the ongoing review of ITGA, the ASEAN-India Trade in Goods Agreement. The two countries are also discussing a joint review of the India-Malaysia Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement. PM will also interact with members of the Indian community. He will address the Indian community in Malaysia, numbering around 2.9 billion, which represents the second largest PIO community and the third largest Indian diaspora. All these interactions underline the multifaceted nature of India-Malaysia ties, spanning the economic, political, and people-to-people dimensions. Following the announcement by PM in August 2024, academic chairs for studies in Indian studies were also set up in Malaysian universities. This has enabled greater academic and cultural exchange between the countries. In recent years, our culture and tourism cooperation has also intensified. Both countries have liberalized the visa regimes for each other's nationals to promote tourist exchanges. As a result, in 2025, over 1.4 million Indians traveled to Malaysia for tourism, whereas about 300,000 Malaysian tourists visited India. Malaysia thus became the largest source of inbound tourism to India from the ASEAN region. The visit of PM to Malaysia would serve to further strengthen bilateral cooperation between the two countries, as well as to set the path for future engagements for mutual benefit. Thank you.
We open the floor for questions now. We go there, Keshav, and then Rishabh.
So, thank you. Keshav Padmanabhan from The Print. I just wanted to check on the ITGA review, given that Malaysia is, I think, the chair for the review for this trade and goods agreement. So, will that be up for discussions? How are we seeing that playing out? Will there be any sort of outcomes related to the review of ITGA expected from this visit? Thank you.
Rishabh.
So good afternoon, Rishabh from Times Now. So two things. One, DPI is something that India and ASEAN have been discussing for quite some time now. Will there be any announcement on DPI? And second, the Big Cat Alliance, which Malaysia has joined, but formally is Malaysia going to join the Big Cat Alliance, and will they be there at the Big Cat Alliance summit that we are going to host in India?
Reza.
Raza from Hindustan Times. Just two quick questions. Have we finished the interlinking of UPI with the Malaysian counterpart? And is there been any other developments on defense cooperation, especially the plans to help Malaysia upgrade its Su-30 fleet, especially since HAL has set up an office in Kuala Lumpur?
Pranay?
So Pranay Upadhyay from Aztec in India Today. You mentioned that India and Malaysia are looking at the expansion of the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. What are the, what are the areas which we are looking at, and what is the process we are going to follow? And a quick follow-up, can you share the latest update on the Zakir Naik extradition case? Where do we stand right now?
So we can take these questions and come back for more.
All right, thank you. The ITGA review process is on. We've agreed on the terms of reference, and the colleagues from the Ministry of Commerce have been engaged with the ASEAN group, exploring various options to try and create a better balance in the trade between India and ASEAN. There are technical elements being discussed in terms of offering more lines under a liberalized regime between India and the ASEAN. I think there is a broad sense that the average tariff in the ASEAN has to improve compared to the existing level. Plus also they want to try and stipulate a minimum percentage of tariffs for each country to open up, as a result of which we can achieve better balance overall between India and Malaysia. India and ASEAN. So that discussion is still on. I don't think there is anything ready as an outcome for this visit as far as ITGA is concerned. Let me try and take the SICA review question also together with this. This is still early days for the SICA review process. Normally what we do is to agree on a broad framework, terms of reference, and then proceed to talk about specific elements that need to be liberalized and opened up. We've not reached there yet. We're still talking about what kind of review and the scope of the review. So it's still not reached a stage where terms of reference have been agreed to. DPI. Let me move on to DPI. During the visit of Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to Delhi, the Malaysia-India Digital Council was set up. After that, they have met at the level of Secretary Maiti and his Malaysian counterpart. The council is working on bilateral collaboration in AI, digital talent, DPI, and cybersecurity. We are also training Malaysian officials in the fields of machine learning and AI under our ITEC program. The NPCI is set to sign an agreement with PayNet during the course of the visit. So that will be one of the outcomes expected from the visit. The question on IBCA, International Big Cats Alliance, Malaysia has, last time it had confirmed its willingness to join the IBCA. Currently, we are in the process of formalizing the procedures required for accession to IBCA. We are hopeful that that will also be completed in time for the visit. But basically, we are on track for Malaysia joining IBCA. Defense cooperation, there's a lot of promise as far as defense cooperation is concerned. We are looking at sale of Dornier aircraft. Malaysia also has Scorpene submarines. We're looking at opportunities to try and collaborate, especially in terms of mid-life upgrades, retrofitting, etc. You had also mentioned the potential for collaborating on Su-30 aircraft. Malaysians have that aircraft, and so do we. We have offered proposals for modification, upgradation, and midlife maintenance. We are also looking at potential for supply of naval platforms by Indian shipyards. So those are all areas that look promising. We hope to be able to get something going on these areas. As far as the question of Zakir Naik is concerned, I can assure you that all issues will be discussed during the visit. We've had opportunities to discuss the issue in past visits also at various levels. And we will probably continue to take up the issue until all technical procedures are completed and we hope to get the outcome that we desire.
More questions?
I miss anything?
Seema?
Sorry. Seema Guha from Outlook magazine. I wanted to ask about the timing of the visit. What was so urgent? Because generally Prime Ministers don't visit while Parliament is on. Just wanted to ask about the timing.
Nirmala?
Nirmala with the Straits Times. Just wanted to ask if there are any other agreements or MOUs that will be signed during the visit.
Krishna Mohan?
सर मेरा सवाल कृष्ण मोहन शर्मा भारत एक्सप्रेस से मेरा सवाल है कि जो एडेबल ऑयल को लेके हमारे और मलेशिया के बीच में काफ़ी समय से एक टसल चल रहा था क्योंकि वो शायद हमें देने में ये नहीं थे और हमने भी कुछ रोक दिया था एडेबल सीरियल्स जो है एक वो इशू है दूसरा कि हमारे एडिबल ऑयल पाम ऑयल और दूसरा इशू ये है सर कि मलेशिया टाइम टू टाइम हमारे इंटरनल जो सिक्योरिटी के इश्यूज हैं चाहे वो कश्मीर की बात हो या CAA की बात हो उसको उठाता रहा है तो आपको क्या लगता है कि इस पे कुछ रास्ता निकलने की संभावना है इस बीच में
Manas for PTI. You briefly mentioned, I think, semiconductor, possible cooperation in the area of semiconductor. So are we going to discuss any specific projects in the area? Thank you.
नीरज?
सर नमस्कार मैं नीरज दुबे प्रभा साक्षी से सर पिछले साल प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जब वर्चुअली संबोधित किया था तो उन्होंने कई सारे मुद्दों को उठाया था आतंकवाद के खिलाफ लड़ने के लिए और एक बड़ी बात कही थी कि 2026 से 2030 की जो कार्य योजना है उस पर पूरा सहयोग दिया जाएगा तो क्या उस योजना कार्य योजना पर भी इस वार्ता के दौरान होनी है कुछ चर्चा
Okay, let me start with the question on timing. You will recall that the Prime Minister, because of other engagements, could not travel to Malaysia for the ASEAN-India summit. He participated in the summit virtually and had promised Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim that he would make it up to him soon, sometime early in the course of 2026. So that's basically the context. He's just delivering on that promise that he will visit Malaysia soon. There are a number of MOUs that we are looking at. Some of them are still, in the works. Some kind of last-minute processes going on for completing the legal requirements for signing the MOUs. We're looking at MOUs. As of now, this is still a list that is not fully baked. So let me just try and list it out, on the understanding that this is subject to confirmation as we get closer to the visit. We are looking at MOUs in the field of disaster management, audiovisual co-production, standards on training, certification, and watchkeeping for seafarers, and MOU on UN peacekeeping cooperation that is to be renewed. We're looking at an MOU or probably an exchange of notes conveying intention to cooperate in the semiconductor industry. MOUs for anti-corruption cooperation, MOU between audit institutions on both sides, the National Security Council secretariats, cooperation in healthcare and technical and vocational training. So those are the areas that we are looking at. Semiconductors, as you know, Malaysia has a very strong semiconductor ecosystem. Something like 30% of their exports relate to semiconductor and allied products. So they have a really strong performance over many years in the area of semiconductors. They have almost 30-40 years experience in those areas. So we are in the process of establishing a multi-layered collaboration arrangement through a G2G MOU, semiconductor industry-led collaborations, and also R&D, both in terms of setting up fabrication centers, also assembly testing centers, etc. Our companies are also interested in collaborating with Malaysia on that. Once the comprehensive strategic partnership was agreed on, a joint task force was set up to try and flesh out the various elements listed under the comprehensive strategic partnership declaration, and various joint working groups under the overall bilateral umbrella are working to try and identify areas for collaboration. These will be developed further to identify specific projects to take forward our cooperation in these areas. Some of the areas are very, very interesting. We are looking at DPI, we've already spoken. We are also looking at infrastructure projects such as railways. We are looking at renewable energy cooperation. DPI was an area, food security and agro-commodity trade. Defense was something that we just spoke about. We are also looking at enhancing scholarships and setting up a Center for Indian Studies, Trilateral Center for Indian Studies. So we have a lot of areas where we can collaborate. On palm oil and the question that you said, जैसे कि आप जानते हैं, मलेशिया palm oil का काफ़ी बड़ा सप्लायर है. Palm oil cultivation की भी discussions चल रही हैं. And हमारी जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर है, उन्होंने प्रपोज किया है कि हम मलेशियन पाम ऑयल बोर्ड एंड पाम ऑयल काउंसिल के साथ कोलैबोरेट करें और कोऑपरेशन करने के लिए कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स निकालें. One final question on Malaysia's comments. We had this parliamentary delegation visit Malaysia soon after Operation Sindoor. The Malaysian side engaged us quite actively. We had discussions at multiple levels, and it included ministers, members of parliament, think tanks, members of the Indian community, and we had an opportunity to try and explain to various interlocutors our position on terrorism, the kind of steps we take as part of our counterterrorism activity, and why a lot of it is something that requires a strong response from us from time to time because of provocations caused by cross-border terrorism.
One last question. One last question there. Yeah.
Sir, I am Prashant from Asianet News. Sir, what is the status of this India-ASEAN agreement? There was a report that it will be concluded by 2025 December. That was the timeline that was decided earlier. So what is the status now on this goods agreement?
There you have a question. Please keep it short, huh?
Sure. So, India, when Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim was in India, India extended its support for Malaysia's for BRICS membership. Malaysia eventually became a BRICS member country. India holds a BRICS presidency this year. So, will there be some discussion on, on the way forward?
One was BRICS, was it? First one was?
India's, yeah.
ITGA again. Okay, like you asked, yes, there was an original time frame set that we will try and complete the ITGA review by the end of 2025. Unfortunately, we were not able to try and address all the issues that we needed to during discussions with all our ASEAN partners. My understanding is that it will take a few more months for us to clinch that. We hope to be able to do it as early as possible, but as of now, there is still work left on that, and we will continue to press ahead with completing the review successfully. On BRICS, Malaysia is currently a BRICS partner country, and as of now, the understanding I have is that there is no immediate initiative to expand the BRICS membership. We've just had a round of expansion. The membership is currently 11 countries. From what I've gathered, the general feeling in BRICS is that it is a time to consolidate after a round of expansion and to make sure that the new members are fully integrated into the various BRICS structures. I think only then we will be talking about a further round of expansion. So I don't see any next round of expansion happening anytime soon.
Thank you, sir. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your presence. We come to the close of this press briefing.
Thank you.
And that was a special media briefing by the Ministry of External Affairs on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's upcoming visit to Malaysia. And with this, it's a wrap here on DD India News Hour. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.